I don't know why this subject gets me so heated, or why I keep making these videos, because it's not my responsibility to change everybody's mind about what the Bible is, if it's true, what it really says. I mean, it's just a big mess, and I appreciate the response I've got from the atheists, the ones that haven't been insulting and so on and so forth, that really, made some really good points. The thing that I don't understand, atheist, is what is it that the Bible says that you find so hard to believe? The simple fact is that at some point in the past, matter came from nowhere, exploded outward in every direction at the speed of light, that all that matter is still expanding, and that over a very long period of time, it has settled, changed, been formed, light has escaped, water and land were produced over billions of years. Here's what I see that's happened, is that man, since he's began thinking about the nature of the universe that he lives in, has begun seeking the answers to certain questions. Like, where did the universe come from? Why is it here? How did life come about? All the questions that science seeks to answer using facts. Okay? The Bible, let's look at it this way. The Bible is a collection of writings. Okay? So, Moses wrote the first 5 books of the Old Testament. The first book that he wrote, Genesis, gives an account for the creation of the universe. Atheist, I'm assuming that you're saying that you have studied the possibility that Moses existed, the book of Genesis, and you have found that it's impossible for what is written in that book to be the truth. The problem with that is you can no more prove that it isn't the truth than I can prove that it is the truth. That's fact. Whether Christians, atheists, or anybody else wants to accept it, none of us can prove any of this. If we could, there'd be nothing to talk about. Take a picture of it, hit a link on the website, bam, there's the proof. No more discussion. The fact that we're still talking about it shows that none of us can prove any of this. I just don't understand why it is so vehemently cast down and stomped on by atheists, saying this can't possibly be the truth. The reason that I think that happens is because the same people that hold this to be true also tell you that there's this literal pit of burning fire that everyone is going to go to if they don't accept this one God. That's called a resentment, okay? And it's an emotional response, and it causes your mind subconsciously to cast a negative pall on everything else that you hear from that source. So I believe it started with that resentment because of something the Bible does not say, that the Christians teach as truth, as if it came from the Bible. So now you refuse to accept anything written in that book as a possibility for anything because you're mad about something totally different. Now that's just my opinion, but it's my opinion because it's what I see. It's what I perceive about the people around me. Let's look at what it actually is. Forget the term Bible. Get the terms out for a second. Here we have a book, a manuscript, a writing from the history, written by an individual who said, this is how the universe started. Now, I would look at that and go, okay, when did this guy live? Where did he get these ideas? Is it even possible that this is the truth? And if you're saying in your mind, no, it can't possibly be the truth, you have a problem of will, not logic. There are some people that just refuse to believe a certain thing because they don't want to believe it no matter how much evidence you give them to show them that. Obviously, you know that if you're an atheist because look at the Christians. Okay, here's another problem I see. That what the Christians teach is wrong according to the Bible, if you actually study the Bible. But because atheists and other open-minded individuals take what the Christians say is the truth about that book, they assume that the book is automatically wrong. The Bible doesn't say that the earth is only 6,000 years old. The Bible doesn't say that everything was created in 6 literal days. That is what the Christians say about what the Bible says, because they don't know Hebrew, they don't know Greek, and they haven't spent the time they need to spend in the book to see what it really says. The Bible really says that the matter for the entire universe was created by God. Science says the matter for the universe started at a single point and exploded outward in every direction at the speed of light, or some speed comparable to it. Okay, so there's no discord there. The next thing that happens according to the Bible is that the earth is darkless and void. I'm not going through the whole... What I'm going to say is that verses 1 and 2 in the Bible deal with matter coming into existence, creation. That's one Hebrew word. The next verses talk about 6 successive time periods whereby the matter that was created is formed. That's a different Hebrew word. And if the Christians knew the difference between those Hebrew words, they wouldn't try to say that the entire universe was created by God in 6 literal days. That's not what the Bible says. Now let's get rid of the term Bible. There's this ancient writing written by a man that we're going to call Moses. It says that there's this God that created everything in one big blast, and then he, over 6 successive time periods, hundreds, millions, billions of years, he doesn't have fingers and hands, using forces, he forms the matter that he created at the Big Bang into the world that we now know. The rest of the Bible records God choosing an individual named Abraham who had sons, and God came to him and taught him certain things and told him to do certain things that resulted in certain consequences. And that resulted in someone else coming named Jesus, his son, supposedly. And the way that it was to be proven that it was his son is because of all these miraculous works that he did. Now, there are writings outside of the Bible that attest both to Jesus' life and to people that believed in Jesus. Let me ask you this question. If you didn't really believe in something, would you let somebody burn you at the stake, cover you with wild skins, and put you around wild animals? Burn you as a candle for the gladiator games? Would you stand up for what you believed in? Or would you allow that to happen to you based on a belief if you didn't really believe it? So why did these people believe that? What happened that caused them to be so sure of what they believed in that they were literally willing to die those horrible deaths? At any rate, there's writings outside of the Bible in history that show that there was a man named Jesus that walked this earth, that he had followers, and talks about the things he did. Now, Pat Condell makes a good point, and that is that there's no writings by anyone, there's no writings that happened while Jesus was here. In other words, while he was walking the earth, we have no record of any writings that anybody wrote saying, hey, I'm sitting here watching Jesus do this. After he died, we have the writings of Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Peter, Paul, so on and so forth, saying, this is what I saw Jesus doing while he was here. Okay, remember, take the Bible out of it. It's 66 books and letters. A lot of the New Testament is nothing but letters. It's very small compared to the Old Testament. Those are letters by individuals saying, this is what I saw. Why should that be held any lower than any other writing? Atheist, you'll believe the Rosetta Stone writings. You'll believe all these other things that are etched on caves and seen in other writings. But when it comes to the Bible, which is historical writing, you discount it immediately. As soon as I mention the Bible to an atheist, he's automatically up on his soapbox talking about how I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm going to believe a book that was written 2,000 years ago by a bunch of camel jockeys. If we're going to look at all the information, let's look at all the information. These are books and letters that were put together about a certain thing. Has it been misinterpreted down through the years? Absolutely. Does it have a group of people that say that it says things that it doesn't say? Absolutely. More on this later.